All right, I want to talk about something that I think is pretty important for creatives, and honestly, not even just creatives, but anybody who works in a church. And you're day in, day out doing work for the church. You also might, be bivocational. Maybe you have a secular job, but you volunteer at your church. There's something very dangerous about being a church volunteer, right? It's a extremely rewarding job to be able to work for the church, especially if you can do it full time and that's your job. That's your sole source of income. That's incredible. But there's something very dangerous, and it's called desensitization. Desensitization. It's what happens whenever you become too close to something. You get too familiar with something that you become desensitized to the very thing that used to excite you, and you used to respect it more deeply. And it's extremely dangerous when it is about church, when it's about your relationship with God. This is why it's so important that if you volunteer at your church, if you do, especially I think because I come from the perspective of creative media, if you do any type of creative media in your church, that you have to be so diligent in your personal devotion. It's so important that you're diligent in your personal devotion. If you're not, then you run the risk of desensitizing yourself to the presence and the move of God. While this might be a job, while this might be your source of income, it shouldn't stop being a relationship as well. It shouldn't lose its importance. And if it has, it might be time to take a step back. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean that you can't handle it. It actually means that you're wise and you're mature and you're able to say, God, you're way more important than whatever the job is that I've set out to do for you. My relationship with you is so much more important than the job.